The GMODIST, more GMODism.
You are most welcome to the GMODIST channel. This is your host Eric, and we are here to check out some beautiful crafts in the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, the sub-faction to the army of GMODism, which participated in the Prometheum Directive. What all of these have in common is that one, you can get them on Workshop right now, and they are all built by RobotStellar, who is a army of GMODism, Sword of the Ecclesiarch fabricator, and a materials 3rd class in the army of GMODism, which participated with us in the Prometheum Directive minigame to build ships and handle some archaeology and stuff like that. So, I like this turret. It looks nice. We are going to check out the ship here. So this is firstly the Commandment class Air Monitor. So it is a flying monitor class. I'll need to finish that document. It's almost done, but I need to finish the document so you can classify ships yourself in an easy way. Well, in any case, 300,000 cost. Everything in the Prometheum Directive is not really made to take EMP, so everything is basically EMP susceptible. Good to know. Here we have the Marksman Sabot variant. So it is RobotStellar's company Lunatics with guns. So it is a other version of the Vigoletta Marksman, basically. We got some Civs turrets there too by these are setup sold cool turrets that are nice, and we have an Octodad light system down there. So we're going to begin and test out the Commandment class against some different ships. It is a 300,000 cost ship, so let us try and spawn something which also costs 300,000 from the Deepwater Guard, and we'll see what will happen. It is, not very surprisingly, a sandblasting type of ship. There we got the first launch of the Octodad system, and the Brigand is being worn down by our sandblasters there. Naturally. I wonder how it's taking the fire here. It's not being particularly evasive, but it sits here in the air. And I should read you the text here. Alright. The pride of the lunatics with guns. A hefty upgrade of the Sky-Crusader Air Monitor. The Commandment is designed as a vessel for all circumstances. It is airborne, counterpart to the Renovateur, the backbone of the Sword's military. Yeah. That is that. There are some cool blueprint pictures you can check out at the Steam Workshop page for the Commandment class here. If we take a little look here, we can do a cut through to perhaps not there. Let us indeed do a left-right cut. I think that's more helpful. You see, it's a front-sider. It is a bit non-evasive, but it, well, against something like this, it's quite resilient. And it didn't take much damage. 92% just, well, it did take some damage, but it's mostly frontal damage there, so it's not hurt per se. Well, let's actually load it in again and pitch it against something a little bit more scary. People say I should test more against a Tyr. This is of course more expensive, 3 times the cost of us, but can be interesting. Look at that. We're getting shot by some crazy stuff. Bam. I wonder if the diff guns are going to go to attack or not. Maybe they have already, I don't know. It's going back and forth, but we're taking some heavy fire here. Ugh, look at that, damn. Finally, the Octodad system has fired. Some of them gets through, some won't. 98%. I don't know, by the way, if the Tyr has EMP. We are not set up to deal with EMP. Oh, looks like the Sky-Crusader Mark II is in the water. Well, wait, that's the Commandment class, I mean. The Sky-Crusader is another type of ship, and I'm thinking we should spawn that in right away. The Sky-Crusader Air Monitor. This is also an air monitor, it's 200,000 in cost. It reads like this. One of the oldest vessels by the lunatics with guns, built for the swords of the Ecclesiarch. It employs a rather primitive but at least somewhat effective technology. Only a few vessels of this class, that's the assembly. And it is a similar type of setup. It's using sandblasters in combination with direct input fed damage guns. It however also has a rather large array of incendiary missiles as well, and it does have quite a big strike with those diff guns. So against the Tyr in particular, I think this may be a bit more effective. I don't know, I haven't tested them head to head like that against the Tyr, but it has more heavy damage dealing stuff, if you will. And of course, like everything in the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, it is a floating castle type of structure. Oh, this is a cool little turret built by Graver too. Can't remember the name in my head, but well. We're having some civs too to deal with incoming cram shells and stuff like that. In this particular case, we are not, of course, able to showcase that. But I do want to see if these incendiary missiles will have the ability to reach, or if the civs missiles here on the interceptors on the Tyr may be a little bit too effective. In the meantime, I think we should check out the Smite class as well. So, the Smite class, you can see we have a lot of things to upload. That's why it has taken so long time, because it would be nice to make it, you know, nice entries. The Smite class only costs 100,000. It has a beautiful sword here on the top, which is burning. So I like this design by RobotStellar. It's very, like, especially this little pack turret on top. It is a pack turret which basically, well, deals damage. We should read the Smite. It's an experimental sister craft to the Commandment, intended to deal with highly evasive planes deployed by our hostile nation Relic and Fick. That's one of our enemies in the Prometheum Directive Season 2. 2 of them, to be specific. While the prototype has been constructed, it never saw wider use on the front. Indeed. So it is a pack-based system to take on incoming aircraft. I wonder if we may have had some issues there with EMP perhaps. I don't really know. I haven't really checked which uses EMP or not, but it has some vulnerability issues, so yeah, there is that. It kinda, you know, sinks a bit and stuff. I wonder how this pack gun is set up here. 5-second reload impact. Okay, yeah. Well, it's meant to deal with airplanes and stuff like that, so this may not be the most epic setting you can have for them. Anyways, I'm thinking like this. We're gonna load in 2 Smite classes. We're gonna load in a Commandment class, and we are gonna load in a let me find it, the Sky-Crusader right here. And against this we can get in here a little array of Deepwater Guard aircraft. Or actually, we can have a little mixed fleet. Let's have an Atlas, a Swordfish. We're gonna have the airplanes. We're gonna have a Geiger. We're gonna have a Flying Squirrel. We're gonna have a Shrike and 2 Dusters maybe. And then I think we should have a ship as well. Possibly. I think we're gonna get the good old crossbones in here. All right. That should be a somewhat fair match, I hope. All right. So we can see straight off the bat the fleet is loaded in here, and I wonder. Looks like the Smite goes for the crossbones for some reason. That's interesting. Right. I think that the Smite class, I think we'll need to find one of the Smite classes here and just modify it a little bit. If it is indeed not set up to target the largest things, that may, like, it should be set up to target the closest thing, I imagine. All right, here we go. So we're just gonna zero this and set it to least blocks possible, and the further away it is, yeah, close thing with few blocks. And I am going to take the liberty of saving over this. Well, there we go. So now we can see it is it's being a little bit damaged there. I'm just gonna repair it. So it will try and engage the Flying Squirrel now instead. Well, we should be checking out where the biggest parts of the battles are happening, where we can see the Commandment class sandblasting away at the crossbones. The crossbones is in a pretty bad shape. I imagine that the incendiary missiles of the Sky-Crusader is doing wonders. Really looks like we're having a very bad day over here. Look at that. We're still firing crams back. Ah, I suppose the diff sieves were used up, so the crams could not be intercepted there. Here we got another launch from the Octodad light system. I think the crossbone is pretty game over. I did add a lot of civs things to the Sky-Crusader, so I do believe the Sky-Crusader should have quite good ability to survive her, to be honest, when it comes to crams. The Commandment is more damaged now. The Sky-Crusader, to my knowledge, have a quite expensive and competent civ system. Not only diff civs, it also has a lot of missiles that I added too. Because of course, everything in the Sword of the Ecclesiarch we have worked on together somewhat. So usually, some of us have checked out and tested the different ships a little bit and have done some minor changes. And you know, if you forget to add something, it's much less likely that that will happen when we cross-check the stuff there. So it's me. Ooh, look at that! It died. So it was me and Graver starting out. Then we got joined by Witch Doctor and RobotStellar as well. Graver moved on to actually hosting the Promethean Directive Season 2. So we have a lot of builds from Graver, but Graver didn't participate after that building stage. And I was mostly in building parts too, due to some time constraint. Promethean Directive is really hardcore. Yeah, it takes some time. It's a really big challenge. Well, look like the little army of gmod-ism aircraft fleet here. Sky-Crusader, the Smite, and the Commandment class managed to take on this little fleet of deep water guard here. Yeah, nothing more complex than a little cool showcase of these airships from the Sword of the Ecclesiarch. So I hope you enjoyed checking them out there, and totally get them on the workshop. We have a collection for all of the Sword of the Ecclesiarch units there, and I'll of course make videos as I upload more of them. There, as you could see in my folder, there is a lot of them. And if you're a commissioned officer in the army of gmod-ism, big thanks to you, especially Commanders Ben Wilkie and Delphin, Lieutenants Ali, Anto, Cravey, Flowers Dagon, Daniel Saikin, Owen, Parba Greed, Vincent Veritas, Rick Burrell, and Scooby Rocks. And of course to all our cadets. And all of you commissioned officers, you already have access to all of the Sword of the Ecclesiarch fleet, because they are of course in the files you can download, but they will be released one by one here on the workshop, and right now the ones we looked here now should be on the workshop. So please take a look at them and give them a rating. In any case, this is the GMODIST channel. If you missed the GMODISM channel, that's the main channel, so do check that out. In any case, I'll see you next time. This is your host Eric, and I'm signing out.